All right, let's do it. Eric, the Big E Arnold, here in the sports barn. It's early afternoon on the, what is it, the 8th? I look forward to when this, I don't know why I'm blaming the pandemic. That really has no bearing on why I can't keep track of the date. But it is just Friday, January 8th. And let's get to it. We got the weekend NFL picks for you. We got 2 Friday night college basketball picks to give you action, because you need action. You know, what good is one game a day or one game every other day? We need action. So let's get some action. Appreciate everybody that's been here. Anyone that's a new subscriber. I think I saw one person in there identified himself as a new subscriber, Doug Bombard. Salute. He mentioned that he's a rider. I'm pretty sure that's somebody else's follower, and that's cool. I mean, I don't want to steal anyone else's followers, but I don't see a rule that you can't follow more than one person, that you can watch more than one podcast or listen to more than one podcast or what have you. I just thought, okay, that's a good time to bring this up. Back in the day, the people that followed me were called Magnificent Bastards. Magnificent Bastards. That's what we called, or I bestowed that name upon them. It's a reference from the movie Patton, 1970. George C. Scott playing General George S. Patton. In the movie, Patton refers to his opposite number, Erwin Rommel, as a magnificent bastard. And I just like the turn of the phrase, and I've stolen it and copied it ever since. Back in the day, I styled myself as a super pro gambler trying to take over the world, betting $20,000 a time on NFL and college basketball and college football. That was probably from, I'd say, 1996 through the year 2000, when it all fell apart. I mean, it seemed like huge sums of money to me. $20,000 a shot was a lot of money to me, which I did not have either. I borrowed it. And somehow I got out of it basically alive without, ending up in debt for 20 years or dead. So that's kind of the genesis of the barn, really, and elevator speech there to you. But the people that followed me when I was doing that, mostly I think just because they were, wanted to see the oncoming train wreck, they all were called Magnificent Bastards. So you can call yourself whatever you want, but back in the day, the followers were Magnificent Bastards. All right, very good. So we got yesterday, our 3-game winning streak, or 3-day unbeaten streak, let's say it correctly. 3-day unbeaten streak ended in the most painful way possible with that Gonzaga. That was the game 5, if you will. Two runaway winners, 2 runaway losers, and then that. And I lost by half a point, and son of a bitch. I mean, well, let's get to it right there. Gonzaga blew. I think they had that game covered with 4 minutes into the game. They opened up like 25-2 or something, and had the game covered the whole length of the game. And then they just, I knew it was coming. I could see it coming. They were goofing around in the second half. And I hesitate to make any pronouncements about Gonzaga because I didn't see the first half. I didn't see when they blew out to the huge lead. So I don't know what they did to earn that. I saw the second half, and they look like shit. They don't look like a number 1 team in that second half. But then, what do they care? They've got a huge lead. They're goofing around. They don't care. So I don't know. I'm going to, I'm bitter. I want to definitely, fuck you. You're not going to win the national championship. But, they put their backups in, which are, oh my God. Well, if they need their backups, in any kind of meaningful game in the tournament, they're screwed because their backups are wholly untalented. Defense, foreign concept to them. So, they better hope their starters stay healthy. I try to, those half-point wins and losses, basically what I've told myself is, look, don't get all bent out of shape about these things. It's just a random deal. One free throw made here or one turnover there, and it could go either way. So you can't get wrapped up around the axle about these kinds of losses, because you'll get one back that you shouldn't have gotten sooner or later as a win. It's tough, though, sometimes. I know what to do. I mean, gambling's half mental. But, last night, it was just one of those nights where I needed something good to happen, and it didn't. And, smash! I've gotten pretty good at smashing stuff without breaking things. Hopefully my wife is tuned out by this point in the video. But, yeah, I generally have gotten pretty good about venting frustration without, smashing holes in the drywall anymore. So, anyway, the rest of it, Oregon, they just came up short. Didn't see a minute of the game, can't comment. Did see that Oregon's never won at Colorado in the history of the United States. Oregon's basketball team has never won at Colorado. Okay, didn't know that. Possibly bad handicapping there. Montana State, they win outright. Nice. These bad teams are not, maybe it's too early in the year, and maybe I'm not getting enough points, but this is the second time I played just a horrific team. We had St. Joe's earlier in the week. They got crushed. Washington, that's a horrific. Probably the answer there is you can play mediocre or bad coaches. What you can't do are play in dead coaches, guys that are on their way out. This is their last year. They're going to get fired. Everyone knows it. Nobody's playing for this guy because no one likes him to begin with. Everyone's got their eyes set on the next coach or whatever's over the fence. I got to try to avoid these guys like Hopkins and Billy Lang. They're dead. They're fired. They're gone. Everyone knows it. So we got to look out for that in the future. And then this game, I was really ready to hang myself. It was looking like it was a 1 out of 5 night or an 0 for 5 night is Illinois. They're down like 20-some against the number, as Northwestern is, like I said, doing all their little smart kid tricks and hitting some threes and getting the occasional rebound, and Illinois just keeps throwing the ball to them. Here's another one. Oh, we're going to go for that huge lob. And we're telegraphing it that we're doing it. These are kids from Northwestern. They might be untalented, but they're not stupid. So, they're stealing that pass, and it looked bad. And then in the second half, I don't know. I mean, Illinois just exploded. Like, they outscored Northwestern like 55-13, I think the number was. It was crazy. I think what happened was Northwestern just got tired. I think I mentioned that in a previous video. I think they're maybe just a little tired. Well, that would explain that Illinois got up, they got interested, Northwestern ran out of gas, and then Katie barred the door. So Illinois with an easy winner there. It didn't look like it was going to be easy, but it was. So 2 wins, 3 losses. Shit, oh well, you can't win them all. All right, what's next? Well, let's get you the NCAA games for tonight. We've got the MAC. The MAC, this looks like, I think it's at 6:30. 2 good teams in the MAC. Ohio is at Toledo. And I looked this up. I mean, apparently Ohio has an actual good player, possible NBA player. Excuse me. But he might not play tonight. That's the disappointing part. And, of course, it's impossible to get information out of these mid-majors. You know, they just don't tell. No one covers them. No one tells you anything. Someday I think that's going to change. Is with the advent of legalized sports betting, there's a market there for information, and I think, you know, maybe that'll be a Big E Sports Barn side business where we'll seek out all the information on the mid majors and have some exclusive report or something where we'll follow these kids around to their dorms and say, yeah, the starting forward of Ball State, we saw him last night and he had 2 girls in the dorm, and so we expect him to be tired. You know, that sort of thing. I don't know. I made that up. But anyway, play, not play, the good player, I think his name is Preston. We're going to take Ohio. You know, we're just, it's almost a coaching play here. You know, Ohio has a young, up-and-coming coach. He used to coach at Stony Brook. Now he's in Ohio. We think he's making that team better. Toledo's had a coach there for like 10 years, and they've never done anything when he's been there. So he's just there. We think this guy with the Bobcats is looking for the bigger, better deal, and he's motivated. So we think he is going to figure out a way to get this game at Toledo. Plus, it's on TV. I mean, that's another thing. I mean, you know, I'm a mid-major coach. I get to be on TV at 6:30. I got no other games that I could tell opposite me. I've got the whole stage to myself for at least half an hour. You know, I want to play well. You know, I want my team looking good. So when I go into that kid's living room next year and trying to tell him why Athens, Ohio is the place to be, that he's going to say, oh, yeah, you know, I saw you guys one time in January on CBS Sport Network for a little bit. Yeah, okay, yeah. You know, you don't want Toledo jumping out to a 25-4 lead on you and the whole country watching it. So, you know, I that's why I think, you know, again, I think we have a coaching advantage, and we think this guy's going to, you know, recognize the fact that he's got an opportunity here to really do some business. All right, that's a long, long explanation about Ohio and Toledo. Michigan State, Purdue, if you want to watch a real game Friday night. Looks like Purdue, they look just so to me, you know. They don't have, Painter's been pretty good about getting a star there to carry the load, and I don't think he has it this year. You know, it just looks like a, you know, okay, it's a good Big Ten team, and they got size, and they got some talent, but they don't have that star. You know, they get drawing a blank. I think his number was 3. Was it Karsten that took him into the Final Four a couple of years ago? They don't have that kind of kid anymore. Michigan State, they always have something going there, and it looked like it was a pretty crummy Michigan State team. But now they've had a couple stabilizing wins, and they had a really nice win over Rutgers, who I think is actually pretty good. So we think that these are 2 similar teams, except Michigan State's just better at what these teams do. You know, this is mostly, you know, just defense, rebounding, and I just think Michigan State does that better than Purdue. And the game's at home, and I think Izzo's going to draw a line at how many times he's going to get beat at home. So I think that this is where you want to be there with the Spartans. All right, so Ohio, Michigan State. We only got 1 star, and it's a pandemic. I can't, you know, really hang my hat on any of these picks and go, yeah, I really think there's a 70% chance that one's going to hit. That's why, you know, we rarely are getting above 1 star on these games. You know, Doug just joined us. 1 star, my least amount of confidence. 2 stars, 3 top play. And we just haven't had hardly any top plays. We just haven't. You know, I have no confidence. Conditions are so, you know, thrown up in the air. All right, anyway, let's not make this too long here. So let's get to the NFL. 3 Saturday, 3 Sunday. So in chronological order, we got the Bills, we got the Colts, we got Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers versus Josh Allen. I mean, let's not, this is one we probably see. I think I see this one the clearest. I just don't know how I don't know how you play a dome team outside in the playoffs. I just don't think you do it. The numbers have not been good. Phillip Rivers has played his pretty much whole career in warm weather or in a dome. He's got to play outside. I think it's pretty clear that this guy is just not as good as some of these up-and-coming quarterbacks. Josh Allen, mobile, able to make plays with his legs, get out of trouble. Phillip Rivers, traffic island. So Bills, solid team top to bottom. The only thing that makes me slightly nervous is there were a couple injuries there to the Bills receivers, Diggs and Beasley. I think those guys are going to play, if for no other reason. They have to play. Otherwise, McDermott's going to look bad because he played these guys in a meaningless game and they got hurt. Ooh, that doesn't look good. So I think they're going to play. I think they'll play well enough. Lay the 6.5. Take the Bills. They're the hottest team in football. I mean, how do you get off this team? They're the champions as far as the against the spread record this year. So how do you get off these guys? Take them. Rams, Seahawks. I don't know. I mean, the Rams are a real schizophrenic team. You 1 week they play well. They got it done last week with, I don't know what to make of that game last week because basically their backup beat Arizona's backup. Is that good? I mean, I guess it's better than losing, but let's not make this too complicated. When the chips are down, we're always going to take Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll. I just think that it's a premium coach. It's a premium quarterback. I'm only laying 3, although you got to pay a little more juice to get the 3. Yeah, I mean, and again, who plays in a dome? The Rams. Where is this game not in a dome? It's outside. Seattle has a great home record, even though there's not going to be anybody there. But, definitely we want the Seahawks on that one. Buccaneers, Washington. These would be the type of games way back in the day that I would look for, where you get the disrespected home team in the playoffs that's catching that home game, and they've got the crowd going. It's a sellout, probably a night game. Everybody's wound up. Half of them are drunk and wound up. It's crazy. It's a rowdy atmosphere, and you'd want the home team. Well, none of that applies here. It doesn't even sound like Washington knows who they're going to play at quarterback. And I'm a firm believer of the old adage, if you got 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any. So I think Rivera's a good coach, but I think he's just stuck. He knows that he's just trying to mix and match and plug and play and get whatever the hell he can out of this team. The Buccaneers have been hot. They've been scoring a ton of points. And, you got one of the great winners of all time at quarterback. To me, this is just, you just go ahead, lay the points on the road. Washington's never been ever since they left RFK, and that was it. It's like you sold your soul for the dollars. You were tough. That was a tough team to play down in RFK. But of course, the dollars, always the dollars, as Joe Pesci said in Casino. So I'm okay with this one. I feel, let's put it this way. If I had Washington and Tom Brady is raining down on me and I'm behind 2, 3, 4 touchdowns, I'd feel pretty stupid. So I'm not embarrassed to go ahead and say, all right, I'll take Tom Brady. If I lose, I'll be with everybody else. So I went round and round with this one. This is the third matchup of these guys in the last, 14 months. Ravens were the #1 seed last year in the playoffs in the divisional round, #1 seed. Titans come in there, 2 touchdown underdogs, beat them. Then the Titans go up again to Baltimore earlier this year as a 1 touchdown underdog, beat them again. So the numbers slowly coming down, but the Ravens are favored again by a little more than a field goal. And I'm good. And I've had the Titans, I've been with the Titans and they've won for me, but I'm jumping off. We're going to take the Ravens here. I was looking at the replay of that Titans-Texans game that the Titans needed to win to get in, and it was unimpressive to me. They just didn't look that good. They ran the ball really well, and I liked that. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I mean, they really controlled the line of scrimmage, but their defense is bad defense. And frankly, where I think this game hinges and why I think you're catching value with the Ravens, I think the two teams are pretty equal, except the Ravens have an excellent kicking game, an excellent field goal kicker, and the Titans have a bad field goal kicker. Hell, the kid almost blew the whole damn thing last week. He's got a 37-yarder in a dome, and he hits the upright, which luckily for Tennessee bounced through, putting them into the playoffs. It's like, come on. I mean, the Baltimore kicker would have kicked that with his wrong foot and made it. So I think that's where we want to be. We want to be with the Ravens there. This is time. Third time's a charm. Hard to beat a team 3 times in a row within 14 months. We're going to say Ravens. Bears, Saints. We're just going with the chalk here. That'll make my wife happy. She thinks everything I do is backwards and wrong, so that she'll believe then the Bears are going to win the game, since I said the Saints will win. I just think the Saints are starting to click. They're starting to play their best games. The Bears' defense is not good. That game last week, I'm watching it and I'm thinking, well, we got this one. I'm on the Packers and I'm thinking they can't stop them. They can't stop Aaron Rodgers. They're going to give up 35 points or more, and they did. And I think that's what will happen here. I think if you want an example, what I think is going to happen, look back a couple weeks to when the Saints played the Vikings. I think the Bears and the Vikings are pretty similar teams, and the Vikings absolutely could not stop the Saints. Couldn't stop them. The Saints they scored 50-some points on them. So I expect the Saints to score a lot of points on the Bears. The Bears will keep up for a while, but at the end of the day, Trubisky will make a mistake. The Saints will, I just don't think the Bears defense is going to be able to hold up against the Saints. The Saints defense is better than the Bears defense. So lay the 10, go ahead with the Saints. And then this one, I didn't really spend much time at all on this one. I just said, you know what? If the Browns beat the Steelers, then they are a daisy. The Browns haven't been able to practice this week. I mean, I know. And Allen Iverson famously said, practice. I mean, we talking about practice. I mean, come on. What are we talking about here? Practice. I think practice actually matters. So, and the Steelers, that's one of your great historical winning franchises against, the Browns. The Browns, the opposite. So I think chips down, rubber meets road. Steelers will take care of the Browns, who did not practice. I guess they figured, well, we just played these guys, so we don't need to really practice. We just saw them. Look, the Steelers are practicing, I guarantee you that. And I guarantee you that if the Browns are able to practice, they would be practicing. So I just view that as a big negative. All right, so there you have it. Friday night, you got Ohio on the road at Toledo, Michigan State at home over Purdue, and then in the NFL, we got our top play is the Bills on Saturday, then Seahawks, Bucks. Sunday, we got the Ravens, Saints, and Steelers. So there you have that. All right, that's it. We'll probably have some college picks for you for Sunday, I imagine. At some point, I got to do the college football thing, you know. Oh, yeah, we're in Ohio State, you know. I'm an Ohio State grad, so I'm going to have to. That's a tough one, you know. It's tough to handicap games where you're really into it, you know, where you want that game. Those are tough to handicap. I ought to probably just set that one. Well, I'll just put the disclaimer on it. This game is probably wrong. So, good, great, thanks. We appreciate all the new subscribers. If you're just passing through, hit the like button. That makes me feel good. If you'd like to make other people feel good, maybe you're evil. Then I guess you'd hit the dislike button just to do it, just to be a dick. But most people don't like to be a dick, you know, I think. I'm in an optimistic mood right now, so I think more people want to be good than bad, I hope. And then, you know, new subscribers, well, we try to put on a show for them. And great, good weekend. Let's have a good weekend. And we're going to sit around and watch NFL football. We're going to do that. I don't know. Do we have a favorite? I mean, are we rooting? Is the country rooting? The country's divided 50-50, so I don't know. Maybe could we unify around one team that we like? Probably these guys. Do we all like the Bills? You know, how can you not like these guys? I mean, what have they done to you lately other than lose to your team? So, you know, I guess we got to root for the Bills. We'll all root for the Bills. We'll all root for the Bills, and good. Thanks, and we'll talk to you again.